Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolf Den. My name is Voltorn Elda, and after nearly 9 years since our original Stanley Parable Let's Play on the channel, I can say welcome back to the Stanley Parable. But this time it's Ultra Deluxe, and apparently the game has had plans of its own for... I wanted to do this intro on the main menu, but as you can clearly see, well... let's just say that this wasn't what happened when I first booted up the game. Before it asked me the time and then if I had played the Stanley Parable before, to which I basically said no, because it has been such a long time since I last played the game, and with my memory, many details regarding the game and endings have faded for sure, but clearly booting up the game a second time has changed some things. So, yeah, I'm intrigued. So, sure game, throw me off of my originally planned intro, and let's see what you've got up your sleeve. Hang on. Before we get started, can I just say something? I mean, you've basically taken the stage yourself at this point in time, so sure? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. I mean, it's a small effort. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. Again, small effort, although you've asked me now twice to set the clock. First time while I was still making sure that all the settings were correct, and now this? Weird? I mean, why even set the clock in general? Can't you just, like, at this point in time, see the time on my computer? Isn't that what games do these days? I'm not even sure. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. Well, I'm trying to, always. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. What do you mean you don't have a way of knowing if the times I'm setting are correct? Am I really gaslighting myself, or are you gaslighting me? I honestly don't even know anymore. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Sure, what kind of deal? Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see this screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. I'm honestly not even sure if I have such a thing as a favorite time. I'm gonna have to think about that next time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want. Even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Okay. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. Thank you. I know that this game can be strange and weird at times, but that was weird. Anyway, main menu. I think that everything is normal now. You're playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. In which case, before we truly get started, do keep in mind that this is not intended to be a 100% playthrough, where I'll encounter every single ending and deviation of the path, because I'm bound to miss stuff, and you know what? That is absolutely fine. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, I'd say it's time to step into the Stanley shoes once again, and take our place in front of our trusty computer screen, and do what we're good at. Let's push some buttons.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Which is the most important thing in life.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Well, we will step out of our office right before I once again, I honestly don't even know what my first reaction was upon playing this game blind for the first time, but just ask yourself, okay, you're getting a job, and the job description says that you have to push a button for, okay, press I for 36 milliseconds. And that's your job. Point 1, why are you even getting paid for that? Point 2, what is even the purpose of such a job? Point 3, I don't even know if there is a point 3, but yeah, point 3 is, why the hell are we sitting in front of our computer for an hour before realizing, hold on, we're staring at a blank screen. Might something be off? Didn't we meet anyone upon entering the building for the first time? Like, a building like this, office building, doesn't that usually have security at the ground floor and whatnot? I'm just asking too many questions, but those are the questions that come rising up again after all these years. Oh my god. Anyway, if this is your first time dealing with the Stanley Parable in general, do yourself a favor. If you haven't played this game yourself, and you have any intention to do so, do it, because this game is awesome. And I don't know what the Ultra Deluxe edition has added to the game, but the base game already was awesome, so yeah. I hate Mondays. Well, it totally depends on the day that you hate, because Mondays surely can't be the worst day out there. I mean, it could be a Friday and you're pushing out a system update and it crashes computers all over the world with blue screens of death. Again, you might hate Mondays, but there are people that do hate Fridays even more. Anyway, time for us to get back on track. Let's see where our co-workers went.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Surely, it's just a memo. Okay, maybe our co-workers did just upright disappear. Maybe we did meet people while coming in, because otherwise people would leave this office quite messily behind.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Well, surely they must be somewhere out there in the wide beyond. Surely. I do remember there's an ending or something related to going outside of this window, which I think was possible by doing that. Yeah, we're gonna keep that kind of stuff and deviations from the path for, well, second go-arounds. Let's for now stick to the main path and just have fun afterwards. Though I do wonder, again, it has been 9 years since I last played this game. If anything even changed at this point in time, like anything in these little offices out here, like 4B6, were there letters inside of these doors before? I wouldn't even know, so if you spot anything that has completely changed and I completely miss it, well, good on you, because I honestly don't know. Anyway, let's move on to our first choice.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm so tempted to go to the right. Instincts tells me, go to the right. But I know that just derails everything, so narrator, you have your way the first go around. And afterwards, I'm in charge. Why do you have nothing? What? Okay, again, this is the kind of stuff where I don't know what changed, or maybe I'm just thinking stuff changed, but were there doors that had nothing on them at all? I don't even know. Anyway, meeting room, hello!
Yet there was not a single person here either.
We're not getting
Feeling
fired.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Perhaps. How to solve a dispute with a co-worker. Let it ball up inside you, take it out passive-aggressively on other co-workers, resent co-workers for not supporting you. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. This will ensure a calm and productive something something environment. There are so many little details all over this place. This game is just an awful lot of fun to just look around in. By quarterly post review. We need not more, we need less reviews. 402 and 405 want to get rid of the dev sport portion in the primary. Wait, there's a dev sports section? Okay, it's fine that you think that that's a stupid idea, but maybe the dev sport portion in the primary review schedule is fun. Also, we definitely need more water coolers and water heaters. Well, someone has not had their coffee for sure. Again, this is so much little tidbits. Just on these whiteboards alone that you can see. We were 427, right? Why does Jim have his own name as employee Jim? There's always some that are better than others. Do not alter without consulting the whiteboard manager. Alright. This box is too small, clearly. Cabal planning. No, it's group. It's just brilliant. Anyway, onwards to the boss's office. Surely he will be around, right? We meet again. I don't... Okay, if memory in any way serves me well, the broom closet was not a complete deviation, right? I can't ignore you. I can't ignore you. I can't ignore the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here.
There's enough
so
here.
He turned around and got back on track.
No, because the broom closet has a lot of interesting stuff. Like, what even is that? Wire spool? Wire what for?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet.
The choice...
No reason to still be here.
The choice could be to pick up a wrench, because there are many games in which a wrench is very useful as a melee weapon. I know that we don't need it here, but...
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
I'm standing.
He wasn't even doing anything.
I'm browsing.
At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Well, if I could pick up the wrench...
He's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
I am taking stock, okay? That is surely important in some way, shape, or form. Just take a roll of duct tape.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yeah.
Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Because it's fun,
Please
it's
offer me
relaxing.
some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
You wouldn't get it anyway. I mean, just the vibe that it has. Also, you realize that maybe they should decorate the inside of the broom closet in some way.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
Yeah, I know.
If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
The broom closet was lonely, okay? It needed a friend, and I'm there for it. Can I close it?
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path.
It is.
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite."
I love the broom closets.
I hope your friends find this concerning.
Well, do you people? Do you find the broom closet concerned? No, wait. Do you find me concerning in regards to the broom closet? Surely the answer is
Stanley
no.
was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He
That may be
probably
true.
got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money.
Probably drug
also,
money.
Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Again, what even is our job in the first place?
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They've fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
It will be fine. There's a lot of stuff that I no longer remember from this game, but stuff like the broom closet and the adventure line, yeah, those still remain. Honestly, I love this game.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board.
Yep.
I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
And that is a challenge. Anyway, let's say if I were to drop dead at my computer and someone had to take my place, well, it surely can't be my parents because they have no gaming experience at all. Maybe mobile gaming, but other than that, nope.
You too?
Yep.
Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to.
The monkey would go here
fungus?
too.
Look,
same with the fungus.
You can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Sure thing. But let me take the wrench, okay? I mean, I have a keyboard strapped to my chest right here, right now, because I can still press buttons as much as I want. Wait. Okay, I just got an achievement. You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled that. Okay, sure. Anyway, I love the broom closet. Anyway, with that out of the way, back on track.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Sure. I got to the broom closet. That makes me happy for at least a little bit. Deviations later. Story. Now. Executive bathroom. Could we go in here before? Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, and that's what the boss chose. Well, if you say so. Extreme bathrooms. Oh, I so wish I could zoom in. But why extreme bathrooms? Anyway, nothing here. Boss's office. No one around. Everything will be fine. You don't go anywhere. Okay. Combination. I think it started with a 2. I can't remember the combination.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
Tell me it starts with a 2. Yes!
4-5.
Okay, I didn't know the 845 anymore, but
couldn't possibly have known this.
No, sure. Because how could I have known that? I mean, I'd have to have played this game before and somehow maintained the memory of the other 3 digits, but it's not that easy. Honestly, I'm surprised I even remembered the 2.
Around twiddling his thumbs.
No, I'm just looking around, just like the broom closet.
On the device was useless.
Yeah,
since
exactly.
He could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Yep, indeed. Because how could I possibly know? Okay. I thought for a moment.
2845.
I know, but I'm lazy. I'm just gonna sit in this chair and let you do the work. Because that's how this works. Right? Right?
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo indeed. Thank you very much. Yay for security override. It's the little bits of the story that's still somehow stuck around. But then there's so much stuff that I no longer know. And also, bloody hell, it is dark here. Can I... I don't even know how well this is going to turn up on YouTube itself, because YouTube absolutely despises dark scenes, but is there a gamma setting somewhere? I don't actually think there is. Well, in which case, it is what it is. Now that's a lot better. So where are we going again?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
It's because we got away from the screen.
Would not go unanswered for long.
The screen is poisoned. Stay away from the screen. God, I want to explore again. There's so much telling me right now. Press the button again. Go up again. But then I'm worried that it's going to deviate into a completely different path. I want to follow the main path and then toy around.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
And I don't even know how much they exactly changed. Again, I don't know how much was added to this game. If there are new endings to be explored, will I recognize the possibility of there being new endings, or? Honestly, not sure. If I don't call Exterminator 940 immediately, or external, who knows what that means. Either way, there's no time for escape. We need to figure out what the deal is with the mind control facility. They really need to invest in more lights. Thus, let there be light. What do you say, by the way? Wait, can I? Was there something where you could actually fall off into this pit over here? If there was something like that, I did not find that in the original game, I think. Anyway, again, no clue what any of that says. Let there be lights!
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Well, we will have to find out at some point in time, but I'm just questioning the layout of this room. Why would there be a room with this many screens, and why wouldn't the control panel be in the middle of the room? Like, this is just a horrible layout, believe me. Employee observation protocol. In case of a class 3 event, close system gates and consult with supervision. Prime your consoles for info dump. Again, so wish I could just zoom in. Anyway, would this really be the middle? You really would expect it to be like a platform in the middle right over here that would look out on everything. Like, have a round desk with this chair right in the middle and you can just twirl around and... I guess that didn't fit in the budget with all of this.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay, we need to fix one of the screens. Also, 2 people fired. That's not a lot for this. Yeah, we definitely have got some issues going on in regards... Well, yeah. 1, 2... Just 2 people fired in total. Makes you wonder what they did. Why did they get fired? Questions, questions, questions. Bloody General. Why is there an employee named Pirate? Where is Jim? Was Jim the thing that said on the whiteboard? Also employee blank. They are lucky. They still get to pick a name. They can be whatever they want. The rest I'll just insert the default name, which would be, in my case, employee 427, but...
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It
Exactly.
couldn't be true.
How would he mind control us?
Been under someone's control all this time?
Surely not.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Well, perhaps. But then again, blissful ignorance, right? If you're happy with your job and you don't know it. Well, at some point in time, reality comes a-knocking.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Perhaps, but then what about the employee pirates?
The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
But it does make me wonder, mind control in general, would you then really have to also make people eat, make people sleep, control all of those little details to make sure that nothing goes wrong in that regard? Because that would require an awful lot of brain power. Surely they will have to figure out something that automates that part of the entire system, right? Because it's just wasted resource. If you're gonna tell me when I need to pee, then, well, you're gonna get issues. Either way, mind controls idle, awaiting input. Mind control, something. I really can't read that. It's all way too small.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
And again, I'm so tempted to just press on because I know what happens. I still remember. But deviations waits. Plot goes first. And I don't remember it being this
Blackness
bloody dark.
and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Show me the light.
Yes.
Show me the light.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Knowledge is
Perhaps
fine
his goal
too.
had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
But I would still like to know. I don't think you ever figured out what the hell was even going on. Also, are we even... We're not even in the same place where we just were, right? Like, what if turning off the mind control was just blanking us out completely and transporting us back into the simulation? Because that's what this feels like right now. There is no console. How... I'm wondering right now if I even questioned that in the first time that I played this. But, well, even if it is fake, even if this all is just yet another simulation, well, it at least is a beautiful one.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Which is the most important thing in life. Until all of a sudden you wake up again, and it's the same day, and everything is quiet as usual.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, we could go to the meeting room, but now that I know...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Surely our co-workers are right... Can we crouch, by the way? We can crouch. Can you crouch normally? Yes, you can. Okay, awesome. Well, in that case, I'm so happy to know and remember that this was a bloody possibility. Into the void.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure.
Oh, absolutely.
And its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think?
It's
Isn't
awfully...
this a fun and unique place to be?
It's awfully bright.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
There's not a lot to see. I mean...
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Nah. What? Why did you turn me around? I was looking at... Why is this room, or this box, so bloody tiny? Am I sick of this? No, definitely not.
Ah, then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different?
Maybe a
Would
tiny
I have
bit?
taken the same idea, but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer?
Yes.
Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option?
Maybe.
Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration?
You won't ever hear it all.
Perhaps you've just played the other option.
Oh, no.
And now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one?
Well, I can't know just
Imagine
yet.
if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Well, cheers to you too. And at this point in time, this is where I no longer remember. Is there stuff hidden here if you stay here all this time? If you keep on pressing this, if you keep pressing yes, doesn't really react anymore. Does anything change? What paths can you possibly take? The original game had tons of them. So, I know certain paths are available, but where they exactly lead, how to get to specific endings, which paths are just dead ends, like am I now just expected to just go and begin the game again, or just sit here forever? I'm not sure. But now I'm sick of this gag. Well, no. Not yet. I'm just realizing that there's an echo in this place. And for some reason, that just makes this gag even better. I love this game. Honestly, it's not about the ending. It's all about the journey.
Ah, the Stanley Parable. We've got some good memories of this game for sure. But perhaps figuring out what's new and what's old is gonna be difficult at times. For that, we'll probably end up needing something like a big sign.